The Disney Cruise Line is starting up again here in the United States, and I am so excited to get back on board. I've been making plans, nothing confirmed yet, but I'm looking forward to sharing some very special magic on board before you know it. But Disney has a lot of new policies that I want to go over today when it comes to the reopening of their ships here in the United States. The very first cruise that's going to launch from the United States is on the Disney Dream, August 9th, 2021. I have no doubt it's going to be a magical adventure, and on board we're going to find a lot of changes. Let's go over some of the health and safety measures that Disney has officially confirmed. Disney gave us all sorts of details about all the cleaning they're going to be doing, the health and wellness initiatives, technology, crew member training, but they did talk about vaccination status and all of that when you're on board. On the Disney Cruise Line, the vaccination is not required, but if you have one, you'll be able to skip a few of the tests if you don't have one. So you have your choice. Either get more of the tests in advance of your cruise or get the vaccination and not have to go through as many tests. Choice is totally yours. If you're going on the Disney Cruise Line without that vaccine, you do have to get a pre-trip and embarkation test. This test has to be done between 5 days and 24 hours prior to your sailing, so you have to have that pre-trip test in hand. In addition, you'll also have to get the embarkation test in the port. The embarkation test costs $65 per guest, but the pre-trip test you can get from a third party or from Disney for $98.33 per guest. There is a lot to it, but you can get on board with or without the vaccination. Choice is totally yours. Now, when we're on board, there's going to be a lot of changes that we're going to see on the Disney Cruise Line. They mentioned physical distancing, we've seen that before, and face coverings for anyone 2 and up are required when you're walking around inside the ship, anywhere indoors besides where you're eating and drinking. That's every single guest on board, no exceptions. You have to wear a mask when you're inside, given Disney's current rules. So outside on the deck, not a problem. Inside, you have to have it on. That's just their current rules. Most of those early sailings are just headed to Castaway Cay, and at Castaway Cay, face coverings are not required. So that's something else to note. When you're there, as soon as you step off the ship, you can take your face covering off. Good to know. Outside the ship, Castaway Cay, face masks can come off. On board, inside, anywhere where you're basically undercover, there's a door, you have to have your mask on. Now, I know we're all super excited about Disney Cruise Line returning to the 7 seas. It's going to be a magical adventure, and to celebrate Disney returning with Disney Cruise Line in Florida, they're doing some very special cruises, including a double dip at Castaway Cay. But it's not just a standard double dip where you go somewhere else, Nassau, and then come back to Castaway Cay. These are unique because it's not official. I did call Disney to find this out for sure. You will go on the ship, you go to Castaway Cay, you have to get back on the ship, and then it just kind of stays there. You're gonna go to Castaway Cay 2 days in a row. Again, it's not going to stay in its little spot overnight. Apparently it does have to leave for some nautical legal reason, but it's gonna leave and then just come right back. So you're gonna get 2 back-to-back days at Castaway Cay. It's not commonly experienced with Disney Cruise Line, so these are going to be spectacular adventures. Those are most of the big details that Disney has confirmed, but there are a lot of different questions we still have about what it's going to be like on board when we're there. One of the first ones I think of, what about those photo opportunities? Character meet and greets? Will dining change a lot? Will we see physical menus? Will we have to use our phone to see all of the things to do, or will there actually be navigators for us to experience? These questions and more still remain unanswered. I have got some thoughts about it, but Disney did confirm one of those details. The fish extenders, where you have those very special bags that sit on the fish near your door where people can exchange gifts, have a good time together, those are currently not allowed. Not at this time. They'll come back in the future, but for now, not allowed. From some of the promotional footage we've seen from Disney Cruise Line, it appears that character meet and greets will be done from further away. So similar to what we see at Walt Disney World, where some of those characters are waving at us from behind a barrier, probably something similar on board the Disney Cruise Line. If you remember Marvel Day at Sea, some of those characters are walking around and that's a magical experience, but with the Groot and Star-Lord as an example, they were dancing kind of further away from us. I imagine Disney's going to do a lot more of that with these first cruises. Now, Disney does put a precautionary note on their website notifying you that if something is detected on board, they have to cancel the cruise right there and go back to port. So that's important to note. They are still kind of playing it safe, want to make sure that everyone is as safe as possible. In addition, Disney has relaxed some of those cancellation policies. It's been this way for a little while, but they have continued to relax them. Even 15 days prior to your travel, you can make changes with very few penalties. So it's really, really nice. In addition, the final payment date has been pushed out quite a bit, so you can wait a little bit longer to decide for sure. One of the questions I was thinking of that I know a lot of guests have when you're thinking about cruising or anything else you want to do nowadays, what happens if you have that pre-trip test and everything's fine, you test negative, then you get there, embarkation test, and you test positive. Will you still be able to go? Well, technically no, but I did call Disney about this. Apparently they'll work with you to find another cruise that works for you. So they're definitely wanting to work with guests to make sure that everyone is happy. I think that's really important because nowadays we never know. You know, things change, things happen, you never know. So it's good to have that kind of just in case. We want to make sure we're safe. Like keeping yourself safe in advance, super important. But when you get there, if anything, you test positive, anything like that, they'll be able to work with you to find another sailing that works for you. At least that's my understanding at the time of this recording. From the Disney Cruise Line website, the smartphone is going to play a much bigger role in the Disney Cruise Line experience. Now, I really do hope we get the paper navigators. We don't have to share them. We can all just get individual paper navigators. Tough to know. I doubt it. I really do. I hope we have them. I don't know though. But make sure that you have the most recent Disney Cruise Line app so that you can access the navigator and everything else that you might need while you're there. In addition, the emergency drill is likely going to change quite a bit. We've seen other cruise lines do it, but the emergency drill will likely now happen totally on your phone and probably in your stateroom as well. We have guests who are in their staterooms watching the show on the TV, learning about what to do in the event of an emergency, and being able to check in that they are indeed watching on your smartphone via the app. So make sure you have the app downloaded before you go on a Disney cruise. It is so important. It's more important than ever. Just download the app. You don't have to use it. Maybe you won't use it. Maybe you won't. But just have it. You'll be happy you have it. Another one of those questions that goes unanswered, what about the photo package that you can purchase in advance of your cruise? Will photos still be taken on board? It's a great question. I've got an update because I did call Disney and I found out specifically the vendor that used to take those photos for guests is no longer operating on Disney Cruise Line. I don't know if that's permanent or if it's just a temporary change, but for now anyway, Disney Cruise Line is operating photo packages themselves. So these will be totally different photographers who were used to hired directly by Disney to take photos. Does this mean it's PhotoPass photographers or other photographers hired by Disney? We don't know exactly what it is yet, but they are hired directly by Disney. You no longer have to go through a third party. I did try and purchase a photo package, but it was a little bit difficult to do it in advance right now. You can still buy them on board and they will be taking photos on board, but that's still a big question mark. Where will they be taking photos? Will they have the same kinds of photos? Huge question marks all around, but photos will be available and photo packages will be available as well. So my guess is that there will be some photo opportunities, but perhaps they'll be a little bit different as we step on board. We're used to booking photo packages in advance and saving some money, but nowadays it really doesn't happen that way. So we'll see. I have a feeling eventually we'll get back to that point where we can book photo packages in advance, but for now, photos may be kind of in the gray area. Don't know for sure. I'm personally super excited for the Disney Cruise Line to return to the sea from Florida. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you going to be booking a Disney cruise super soon so that you can go back at sea? I'm so excited. I cannot wait. There is so much to be excited about for the Disney Cruise Line, and before you know it, we'll be back at full steam all across the different ships and ports all around the United States. Let me know which cruise you have booked in the comments below. You never know, maybe we'll see each other on a sailing in the future. Thanks so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.